I think India is a very robust market and it is quite promising. Of course, it offers huge demand in terms of EV in the coming future, and it has also set, I wouldn't call it ambitious, but it's a reasonably aggressive plan of having about 30% electric vehicles penetration by 2030. So I think India offers a good market, and I think Tesla is one of the leading players globally. So I'm pretty confident that it would be able to enter the Indian market and take the right steps.
Do you think, Somesh, that Tesla and the Indian government and the regulatory framework can square those circles? And are we talking about a 1 or a 2 year time frame, or perhaps sooner?
Yeah, I think, the market is there. We've seen some of the leading Indian companies coming and venturing into the EV space, both or actually on all fronts, whether it is the EV fleet or it is the charging infrastructure, or it is the the ancillary services like batteries and EV components. But rightly said, there are certain issues, particularly with regard to over-reliance on exports, and also a few outstanding issues in terms of policy and tax framework. But I think the government is very, very well committed to making the EV story happen in India. So I have no doubts in my mind that the government will do everything to enable investments, including foreign investments in this space in the country sooner than later. So, I mean, it would be difficult to comment on a particular time frame, but I think things will happen pretty fast.
So much when you examine the progress that's been made so far, when you examine what the domestic EV car makers have been doing, and they haven't been sitting still, have they? They've been innovating, they've been bringing out new models. You examine the subsidy setup and the framework as it applies to the FAME programme. Then is 30 at 30 Prime Minister Modi's signature EV policy achievable by that time frame?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that it is definitely something which is ambitious, and we should have that ambition. I mean, we cannot set a goal which is not ambitious. So it is definitely ambitious, but I think it is very much achievable. India has laid a very, very strong foundation, for the EV. Ecosystem in the country. So, while it appears to be bold and aggressive, but it's definitely realistic, I think. And we are already seeing strong momentum in the two-wheeler and the three-wheeler segments. I think they're mushrooming very, very well,
yes.
Which really form the backbone of India's transport system. And these segments are leading the EV transition also, due to their lower operating costs and favorable unit economics, and now improved access to financing and charging solutions also.
I see.
Whereas the four-wheeler segment, I would say, and the commercial vehicle categories are slightly, behind what we would have expected.
Sorry to interrupt you so much. I wanted to talk about that because hybrids still have the lead over EVs, don't they? EV sales grew by 7% in the first 8 months of last year, compared with 20% for petrol and diesel hybrids. What needs to change? And does government need to rethink or perhaps restructure subsidy schemes like FAME?
Yeah, I think, there are 2-3 things that I would like to highlight here. One, of course, is very high upfront costs for EVs. So, particularly in the four-wheeler and the commercial vehicle segment. So I think that really needs to come down. And that is essentially a factor of course, the subsidies which government is giving. I think, as you rightly said, the ambit of the subsidies and the quantum both can be enhanced. That's one. But I think the real game changer would be, how we can indigenize a lot of, battery cell manufacturing as well as EV components in India. So, those are still largely imported, and that makes it for a huge cost. So I think that needs to come down. So it's high upfront cost. That's one. Another thing, as of now, I think is in the EV segment itself. It's limited model availability, so we can have better choice, more innovation on that, and more models available, which has been happening in the IC vehicles, as we call them, but not so much in the EV segment. And the third and the last one, which I would like to point out, of course, is the charging infrastructure.
Yes.
So we've seen charging infrastructure come up significantly in tier one cities. So they are leading. But of course, there needs to be more there as well. But the tier two and tier three cities where the demand really is for the country, there the charging infrastructure still is lagging behind. So I think both the center and the state governments need to incorporate in their policies various kinds of innovation so that the EV charging infrastructure can come up more.